Obviously, you work out to get babes, right? However, being that most of the year, you aren't walking around shirtless, here are the three main muscle groups to place most attention to, for looking good in clothes. We should mention, however, that the number one feature that makes these three important muscle groups appreciable, is relatively a very lean body mass. A guy with a gun, or who is too soft, might just look less out of shape in a generic sort of way to an onlooker if he adds muscle, but a lean individual will always look like he has something extra if he adds muscle to a relatively low body fat. So having a small waist by keeping your diet and cardio in check are first and foremost. Muscle group number 1, the shoulders. Otherwise known as deltoids, nothing encompasses masculinity like a broad set of shoulders. It is the paramount feature of the ideal, V-shaped man. This body part being as exaggerated as possible gives the natural communication to the female eye that you are an alpha male into her visual cortex. This can't but equate to a more healthier offspring to her subconscious female mind. The shoulders are also least able to be veiled by clothing. They are the last to be made invisible by any type of clothing you might wear. They are able to be more easily appreciated by the field of vision by the person talking to you, while they are talking to you, as this plane can be measured by the eye more readily than can depth perception, which would be more attenuated for the visual appreciation of the chest, which is why it gets just that one bit of priority over chest. However, both of these muscle groups have exercises that work the other. To isolate the shoulders, I prefer lateral raises with a weight between 15 to 30 pounds, depending on number of reps per set. I generally do any dumbbell presses after the lateral raises, so that a lesser poundage can be used for the presses. I do this for safety. After all, you can't get chicks if you're injured, right? Which brings us to priority muscle group number 2, the chest. While depth perception is less than peripheral spatial recognition, it is still appreciable. Even in most button-down shirts, a slightly bigger chest than normal is able to be perceived on a person who is fairly thin, as their chest will predominate more than their stomach. Also, in many form-fitted shirts, having a well-developed chest is quite noticeable. Also, in these types of shirts, having a bigger chest will cause your nipples to stand out more, which some women like. Isolation with pulleys I have found to be the most beneficial to the chest. I find they allow for a superior contraction by allowing the arms to cross past the midline of the body. I was surprised at how much they benefited me, even when starting light, as you should, especially with pectoral isolation exercises. It also is superior at inducing the pump. It seems to also cause a filling in of uneven parts of the chest. So cable crossovers, and/or the chest fly machine or pec deck. Arms, though these are two different groups, they are so easy to do in superset fashion, that I put them together, though the triceps you may want to prioritize over the biceps as they make up more of the arm. This is a point of debate. Just work them both, but remember, that any pushing exercise involves your triceps and any pulling exercise involves the biceps. So judge this according to where you're lacking or stronger or weaker at, as well as your total working volume. For triceps, I like pulleys with the rope, and skull crushers with the bent bars. Biceps, I like curls, with an over-exaggerated supination of the palm, or done regular, as well as curls done with the palms down. Many of the form-fitting t-shirts wrap nicely around the arms and look awesome when one has appreciable arm development. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. Thanks for watching Neotrition. Obviously, you work out to get babes, right? However, being that most of the year, you aren't walking around shirtless, here are the three main muscle groups to place most